Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. So today in this video, I want to give beginners 3 advices to get started in drawing and painting. So the very first advice that I want to give is that draw and paint as much as you can from real life observations. So the practice of drawing and painting in sketchbooks have been around for like so many centuries. I think the first one that I can remember is from Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbook. So over his lifetime, he had filled up so many sketchbooks, very similar to our journals, of his everyday observations, objects, little sceneries, and also drawing from his imagination. So Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbooks are really cool to look at, very inspirational. And nowadays in the modern world, because technology is very powerful, and pretty much every one of us have our own smartphones to take photos or snapshots in every day. So I don't really recommend beginners to start drawing and painting from photographs, because photographs are actually very vague, quick captures of a very small part of reality. I really strongly recommend you to study even the most simplistic things in real life, like an apple or like a glass jar in your kitchen. Work from real life, and you're gonna see, you're gonna sense, and you're gonna feel so much more compared to looking at those abstract patches of colors in a photograph. And from my experience, photographs can be sometimes pretty confusing, because some parts, they tend to be distorted and blurry, and some parts of the photograph can be way too dark to see the details, and a lot of parts are merged together. So it's very challenging to tell the relationships and colors in a photograph. So if you're studying something from real life observations, you can touch it, you can move it around, you can see and tell its 3 dimensions really, really well. And of course, same idea for the colors. You can see layers of colors from real life observations, and that really hones your analyzing skills. So all of those old masters before the invention of the camera, all of their studies, like sketches, quick drawings, and little paintings, are done from real life. And even though some of them are not really perfect, I can tell they have captured a lot of the atmosphere of the landscape or the things. A lot of lively spirit can be captured from looking at things from real life. And advice number 2 that I want to give is that start practicing with the simplistic geometric forms of everyday life. So these days I've been teaching beginners classes, and I started the first unit with drawing and understanding prism shapes. And in the upcoming unit 2, I'm going to focus on cylinders, and the next unit is going to be focused on spheres. So for beginners, I really recommend you to start practicing your skills with objects rather than landscapes, because landscape is a really complex mixture of so many different geometric shapes, forms, and overlappings. So if you want to do landscapes really well, you have to start practicing with the single isolated object. For example, 1 apple, 1 orange, 1 prism-shaped package, and 1 cup. There's so many domestic objects with very simple geometric forms, just like so many of them, that really worth practicing. And also, grocery shopping stuff like bread, just 1 single slice of bread slice is gonna teach you a lot. And other objects that you can use to practice from the everyday are books, Kleenex or paper towel boxes, a roll of paper towel, and lots of food packages. Yeah, so if you can do those single items really well, you can move on to, challenge yourself with a little bit overlappings, like, having 2 or 3 or multiple items together in a still life setting. Do that, and then you're gonna feel more confident before you move on to sketch a simple landscape. So from my experience, when I was a student over 10 years ago, I spent a lot of time studying with a master in the studio, and he just gave us, all of the students, different sets of still lifes, usually a cluster of fruits and other domestic objects like a wine bottle and a stuffed animal, stuff like that, trying to make it fun. And I remember I spent hours and hours on one single picture, starting with pencil drawing and then adding watercolors or other mediums like acrylic paint, oil pastels, color pencils, stuff like that. So another thing that I want to recommend for a beginner is that start with dry medium to practice your skills, because wet medium like watercolors, gouache, and acrylic painting is actually very challenging to control compared to the dry mediums. So before you really dig into watercolors, try draw some objects with graphite pencil like HB, 2B, 4B pencils, and then maybe colored pencils, just so if you have a lot of control, to shade and to get the forms right, and you can even erase with pencils. So yeah, I really recommend you to start with these before you move on to watercolors or other mediums. And my advice number 3 for you is to make it easy, make it simple for yourself. Don't push yourself way too hard, and also don't compare yourself with other people, like other artists. Everybody starts at level 0 the same way. Everybody was not good at all in the very beginning. So yeah, so just calm down and just be yourself. Start from 0. Don't feel bad about it, because everyone was the same in the beginning. And so there are just like so many distractions these days in the modern world, wanting you to buy a lot of art supplies and trying so many different art styles. But for beginners, just keep it simple. Stay with pencils, color pencils, so dry mediums, and practice your skills with those. And I know it's not easy to keep it simple, but you have to do it. You don't need hours and hours every day to work on art. Depending on how busy you are, you can carve out maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour. I'm sure pretty much everyone can commit to this. If you want to improve your skills in drawing and painting, you gotta have a really consistent practice habit to kind of insert this time into your daily routines. So yeah, and another thing is that to make it really simple for yourself by just stick with one simple object at a time, rather than having a big picture of multiple objects, a fancy landscape, stuff like that. Practice from your real life observations, understand things and learn about things from your own senses. Practice with the materials, interact with the materials, and see how it works for you. Because when you're listening to other artists' tutorials, they're talking about how those art mediums are making sense for them, but it may not be working the same way for you. So you learn a lot from your own hand-on experiences. This is very important. You learn a lot from your own hand-on experiences. You gotta go do it yourself and see how it works for you, how it feels for you. A lot of times it's very hard to explain with words. So a lot of times art teachers are giving instructions like this: you're mixing this orange color by having some red and yellow together. But how much red and how much yellow? What is the ratio? You gotta try it for yourself. Every time you try to mix an orange, you're gonna get a slightly different tone. You're not gonna get exactly the same color again, because everyone sees the world with different lenses or with different perceptions, because we all have different, we all came from different cultural backgrounds, having different kind of education, life experiences, and these things make us to understand phenomenon in different ways. So this is the same for the creative experience. You have to try it out yourself to see how this process is really for you. And 20 minutes every day is actually something. If you do it continuously for like months and years, it's actually a lot of accumulation together. If you just do it like 20 to 30 minutes every day, just take the time. These days in the modern world, a lot of us are spending too much time on the phone and watching TV, playing video games. Why not, find some more value in your life by making art? Doing some drawings and paintings is a really great way to slow down, to meditate on your surroundings, to seek peace in your inner world. And this is actually my very first art journal or sketchbook that I work on. Starting a really consistent daily sketching habit. As you can see, I started it on January the 11th and I finished it on June the 21st in 2012. It took me like 5 months to fill it up. It's a pretty thick book. It contains 120 pages. 60 sheets means 120 pages. A lot of pages to fill. I sketched my laptop, and here are my mittens. These are actually sketched from photographs of the bunnies on my university's campus. And these were sketched from photographs too. The ducks by the snowy bank of my park. And a lot of experimentation. These were done with markers, and this one was watercolors, and the rest was markers. And ink and watercolors and a bit of colored pencils too. January 22nd, my kitchen stuff in the kitchen that I share with other roommates. I did these when I was in second or third year university. My painting stuff. These are actually really great memories. We had like a power outage because of wind, and here's my little flashlight to save me from the anxiety in the darkness. And then the beautiful early morning sunrise. It's a great memory, even though these sketches are not as good. Sketching my hands, sketching tubes of gouache, fruits. Back then, the colors look very muddy compared to now because I was still learning how to do watercolors quick and effectively at the same time. Watercolors and markers. Markers and watercolors of the moon. This is good. My cute teddy bear pajamas, teddy bear in the corner of my bed. Some food ingredients for dinner, awkward, and my lunch pasta and a jar of pasta, steamed buns. I did a lot of writing back then in my art journal. Okay, in February 2012, my brand new watercolor box, cup of tea, my sweater, fruits, my backpack, and the bag that I used to put my phone in, sketching from my baby picture, and stationery stuff at my feet, my foot coming in, my backpack, and I did these with alcohol markers, some more ink and watercolor sketches of little things. So in the beginning, in the early days, I just stick with drawing the simple things in the home. It's my parents cooking. And sketching from my baby picture. Oranges and the green tea. Books. alarm clock and pencil sharpener, bowl of fruit salad, the view outside the window, outside the place that I was renting in Victoria, and pumpkin pie and grapes, and cucumber sprouts. So we're planting cucumbers from seeds. And these are like sketches, watercolors taking me a long time, sketching my cousin. He was a baby back then. My wallet. Cup of milk tea, and the living room. Back in 2012 in June, this is our first few days in our new house. This is the view outside my reading room window. This house is not here anymore. It was pushed down and taken over by a huge black house. Sketching a notebook and the my bedroom window at night. Stuffies. My hand holding a banana, some seafood and tofu up there. Toys and other stuffies. New sketching materials. My bags. This is actually my very first outdoor watercolor sketch. Wow, it looks pretty awkward. I think I made the watercolors look way too solid and too dark. You know? It's all about time and experience that you get better and better. Some more little items in my home. Donuts. It actually took me a while. I was trying to make it look pretty realistic. Our dining table, 3 chairs, and a mango. Oh, this is the very last page that I finished on June the 21st, 2012. Okay, I'm going to show you more of my early sketchbooks in future videos. And this is also my first sketchbook, so I worked on both two together. This small one is for my drawing and painting class assignment. I did this sketchbook tour about 2 years ago, so you can check out that video. I'm not going to do it again. So today I'm going to focus on this first one. So these two are actually parallel. Both are my first sketchbook. And I started these two around the same time in January and February 2012. And I finished this one on April the 28th. And I finished this one on June the 21st. Okay, so that's pretty much like what I want to say today. My 3 advices for beginners. So pretty much just go practice, find as much time as you can. I'm sure you can find a lot of time in a day if you cut time from the other things that you don't really need to do, like swiping on the phone or watching TV, playing games. Yeah, and just focus. Focus is very important. Have focus and keep the habit very consistently, and you will see improvement. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please click like and leave me a comment below of what you think about my thoughts. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. I update this channel 2 to 3 times a week. And have a great weekend. I will see you again very soon next time.